All right, let's talk about something that hits every single developer at some point, that feeling of being stuck. You know, you've done the tutorials, you've built a few things, but you just feel like you've hit a wall. You're stuck in what I like to call tutorial purgatory. Today, we're going to talk about how to break out of that for good.
So, let's start with a question, and it might sting a little. You've been following tutorials, right? They got you started, which is great. But what if that very thing that helped you begin is now the exact thing that's holding you back from real, meaningful growth? It's a tough question, but it's an important one.
Yeah, we're calling this the tutorial trap. It's so easy to fall into because, let's be honest, it's comfortable. It feels productive. But comfort, well, comfort is the enemy of real learning. If we're going to build anything serious, we have to get past just following a recipe.
Okay, look at this. This comparison really breaks it down. On one side, you've got shallow work. That's copying and pasting code, just following the steps, staying on the surface. And then on the other side, you have deep work. This is totally different. This is about building mental models in your head, really digging into the fundamentals, and always asking that one crucial question. Why? Why does this actually work? This is the leap from just being a coder to becoming an engineer.
And this right here, this really says it all. Tutorials are great for showing you what to type to get a result. But books, documentation, source code, that's where you find the why. And that why, that's the foundation everything else is built on. It's the secret sauce.
So if that's the problem, what's the solution? How do we actually start building that deep understanding? Well, it starts with a concept that sounds a little weird at first. You have to learn to embrace something called desirable difficulty. This is really the first major key to unlocking your growth.
And this isn't just some nice idea, you know? There's actual psychology behind it. The whole concept of desirable difficulties is that when we make things a little bit harder for ourselves, when we struggle just enough, our brains have to work harder, and that struggle is what actually creates stronger, long-lasting memories. Easy come, easy go. A little bit of difficulty makes it stick.
So what does this look like in the real world? It means you start experimenting. You become a scientist with your own code. When something works, don't just move on. Ask yourself why it worked. Then try to break it on purpose. Seriously. What happens if you delete this line? What if you pass in a totally unexpected value? Build little one-off scripts just to test a single idea. Poke it, prod it, see how it ticks. This is how you really learn.
What you're looking for is this perfect sweet spot. A psychologist named Lev Vygotsky had a great term for it, the zone of proximal development. Think of it like this. It's not so hard that you're totally lost and frustrated, but it's not so easy that you're bored. It's right on the edge of your current ability, where you actually have to stop and think. That's the magic zone for growth.
So from now on, when you feel that little bit of struggle, that, this is hard feeling, that's not a bad sign. That is a great sign. That feeling of discomfort is literally the feeling of your brain building new connections. You're getting smarter in real time. That feeling is growth.
Okay, so pushing yourself is step one. That's crucial. But to really put this on hyperdrive, you need to change your environment. You have to intentionally seek out higher standards.
I mean, this might be the biggest cheat code there is for leveling up, not just in programming, but in anything. It's simple. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Your skills will skyrocket when you surround yourself with people who operate at a level you want to reach. Their normal becomes your new target.
You know that old saying from Jim Rohn? You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It's famous for a reason, because it's true. If your peers are okay with sloppy code and buggy features, guess what? Sooner or later, you will be too. You have to find your people, the ones who push for excellence.
Okay, so where do you find these people? Where do you find these higher standards? Well, here's one of the most underrated, most powerful tools for any programmer out there. Open source. And let's get one thing straight. It is absolutely not just for senior-level coding wizards.
Getting started is so much easier than you think. Just find a project you actually use every day on GitHub. Go to their Issues tab and just look for something small. Your very first contribution could literally be fixing a typo in the documentation. That's it. The goal isn't to rewrite the whole thing. It's just to get in the game and get your code in front of experienced engineers who can give you feedback. That feedback is pure gold.
This brings us to the last piece of the puzzle. And honestly, this one might be the most powerful of them all. It sounds backwards, but it's true. If you really, really want to learn something deeply, you have to try and teach it.
You've probably heard this idea before, famously put by the physicist Richard Feynman.
He basically said that the ultimate test of your understanding is if you can explain a concept in simple terms to someone else. It's called the Feynman technique, and it works like a charm.
And here's why it's so effective. There's just nowhere to hide. The second you try to explain a concept out loud, bam! Every single fuzzy spot, every little logical gap in your own mental model just lights up like a Christmas tree. It forces you to confront what you don't know so you can go back and fill in those gaps for real.
And look, when I say teach, I'm not talking about becoming a professor. It can be super simple. Write a short blog post about something you just figured out. Grab a friend and try to explain a new concept to them. Heck, even just answering another developer's question on Stack Overflow or Reddit counts. Every one of these is a chance to test your own knowledge.
So let's put it all together. Because these aren't just random tips, right? They connect. They build on each other to create this self-reinforcing system, an unstoppable machine for your growth. We're going to call it your growth flywheel.
So here's what it looks like, your own personal cycle of mastery. Number 1, you go deeper than the tutorials to build real mental models. 2, you get uncomfortable by experimenting and seeking that desirable difficulty. 3, you get feedback by surrounding yourself with higher standards. And finally, number 4, you teach to solidify everything you've just learned. And then the cycle starts all over again, each time spinning faster and faster.
When you strip everything else away, this is it. This is the mantra, your new operating system for your career. Experiment, get uncomfortable, teach, and then repeat. That's the engine.
So I'll leave you with this, a direct challenge. Don't just nod along and then forget about this. Think about it right now. What is the one small, slightly uncomfortable thing you're going to do this week to get your flywheel spinning?